Grace and Jacob had been married for 5 years, but they had no children yet. Grace wanted to live for herself. Although the man had wanted a baby for a long time, he did not pressure his wife, hoping that she would soon come to think of it herself. Jacob had his own small business, and he earned enough so that his wife did not need anything. They went on vacation twice a year, often had dinner in expensive restaurants, invited friends over on weekends. Grace constantly bought new clothes and went to beauty salons. Jacob tried to provide his wife with comfortable conditions and entertainment so that she would not get bored. But Grace still constantly complained that her husband spent a lot of time at work, and she wanted him by her side. And once wandering through the expensive boutiques in search of something unusual, Grace went into a cafe for coffee, and she met a nice young man. He captivated her head from the first minutes, and she agreed to meet him again. So their romance began. Grace was often at his place. Hugo behaved very gallantly and said nice words. He was different from her husband in that he could be with her at any time. It was as if he didn't work anywhere, but Grace was fine with it. She did not even notice how much her husband's money she was spending going out with her lover. Hugo kept telling her that her husband didn't deserve her, but that he would make her the happiest. One day, after throwing tantrums to her husband about the lack of attention, Grace packed her things. Before she left, she announced that she had another man who valued her and loved her and thought she was a queen. Jacob tried to find out what she lacked because he spent all his free time with her. But the woman just slammed the door loudly, proudly declaring that she had fallen in love with another man. Grace's arrival was a complete surprise to Hugo. She happily announced that now they would always be together. But suddenly a young woman, wrapped in a sheet, appeared from somewhere behind Hugo's back. Grace could not find the words from surprise and only looked questioningly into his eyes. "Did you really think you were the only one I had? There's a line of women like you. And you know, you're not on that list no longer. I don't want any commitments. Go back to your husband." With these words, Hugo slammed the door right in front of the shocked woman. Devastated Grace walked home, but the door was locked from the inside. She knocked and shouted, but finally her husband opened the window and wished her happiness with the man she loved. When Grace realized that all her attempts to return were in vain, she decided to go away to her parents for a while, hoping that Jacob would calm down and forgive her. She called periodically, but he didn't answer, and then one day he suddenly answered and even chatted kindly. Grace thought it was a good sign and rushed to her Jacob. About 6 months had passed since their quarrel. As she was approaching the house in a cab, Grace saw Jacob come out, accompanied by a young woman who was holding a small but clearly visible belly with her hand. Grace understood everything and asked the cab driver to drive back to the station. She did not appreciate what she had, and now she would have liked to fix it, but it was too late, and Grace had only herself to blame.